Documents. You told us yesterday you ticked up all these boxes. Please don't have amnesia now.
You've just told me also that there were so many pages.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. My fault. You got me there. I have a document here that says 25th March and 26th and what have you. But that's when you were questioned in person. Right?
Yes.
Now, help me out here. About 11 days earlier, on the 14th of March, 2014, this was glossed over by Mr. Steinberg. You actually had a call from the investigators, right?
I don't remember.
You don't remember. You don't remember seeing it over all those documents that you read? I have it here. I'll refresh your memory. You had made contact with the OTP saying, hey, I want to come back into the fold. I want to be part of the organization again. Please take me back. And then they called you back and said, okay. And they had this conversation. And that was on 14 March 2014. And I have it right here. Does that ring a bell now?
Yes, I know. I accepted to go back.
Okay. But they called you, right? You had a conversation on the phone.
Yes.
Okay. Now we're going to go through this and we're going to take some time. And I apologize for everybody, but there's so much, because you told us you're a truthful person, and I just want to get to the bottom of all of this. When they called you, they immediately began tape recording you. Isn't that a fact? It's a yes or no, I don't know. There's no need, it's not a tricky question. I'll let you know when it's a tricky question.
When I was given a call, I didn't know I was being recorded.
Okay. They did tell you, however, that you were a suspect. They viewed you as a suspect.
On the call?
Yeah, on the call. We're going to go through it right now. Now you can say I don't remember. That's a safe one.
Indeed, I don't remember.
Okay, good. All right, well, let's go through this. And now I'm going to referring to, it's on tab 29, it's Ken OTP 01450439. That's the beginning. It's dated 14 March 2014. I'm on page 2, which is 0450441. You should be getting, is the gentleman seeing this on the screen, or? I don't want to be accused of, you have some documents over there, the binders, I believe that's for your assistance.
Could Mr. Court Officer, can you help the witness, please?
Yeah, and there's nothing on the screen over here, so probably he doesn't have it, but
Can you help with the binders before the witness, please? Defense binders. I think it's binder number 1.
yeah, okay, relax.
Your Honor, I see the document is on the screen now. Perhaps it can just be made larger if my learned friend will give the line reference.
Line reference. I'm going to be reading a whole lot, so he might want to get to the binder itself, because we went through the trouble to get it for him. But I'm going to be starting with line 43. So it's tab 29. The first page should be 01450439, dated 14 March 2014. Yeah, tab 29. That's what I'm told, so I'm telling you. You don't have a copy?
I will check it.
Okay.
Your Honor, may I? Your Honor, may I interrupt for a moment?
Yeah, what do you want to say, Karen?
In light of the trial chamber decision of yesterday, I wonder whether this line of questioning shouldn't be in private session.
Well, I was going to ask Mr. Canavas or advise that when he thinks that we should go into private session, he lets the court officer know.
Yes, Your Honor. As far as I'm aware of, I'm not going to be going into anything that should be kept from the public, and nothing that will reveal this particular gentleman's, and I will be very slow about this and methodical. I'm very mindful of his security concerns, and we may disagree on positions, but I'm very mindful of that. So now, if we could, do you have that page? It's page number 2, and on the bottom you'll see 01450441. Do you have it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I don't want to take charge of the court, but you can, the gentleman can relax a little bit, the court officer. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's start with line 43. Okay, this is the interviewer. Interviewer 1, by the way, on the first page. You'll see who it is. No name, but it's an OTP investigator. Okay. The other thing is, when we do this, we are going to interview you on tape, okay? Answer, that's you. Yes, interviewer. The reason being, I'm sorry, I'll have to slow down a little bit. The reason being, we want your full honesty this time. And we want you to tell us the complete truth. So what we're going to do is record our interview with you. Answer? Yes. Let me pause. Does that ring a bell? Is it coming back to you? I know it was foggy initially, but is it coming back?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So we go on. Line 49. And what that means is, at the moment we have information that you also may have interfered with other witnesses. So we want to talk to you about that, even though we are after those most responsible, but we would like to interview you about your role and the role of others. Do you understand that? Answer, okay, fine. I move on. At this point, the next line, they ask you whether you want a lawyer. You may need to have a lawyer present. Line 57, but I want you to think about it. I'm going to pause here for a second. They're asking you to think about it. All right? And then on line 60 or 59, I have to give you some warnings, but we still need your continued assistance, but you need to be 100% honest. In me and this individual, because we already have information that you also, after you left us, were involved in witness tampering. So, if you do come to us, you have to be completely honest with us. Otherwise, I am not interested in talking to you. Now, let me pause here. You told us earlier that you have been honest with the prosecution, except this one itty-bitty time that had to do with something else, had to do with a recording, and a clandestine and unauthorized recording. Do these warnings, that we haven't even started yet, but so far, do you get the impression that the OTP investigators see you as an honest person? Because that was my first question, and you said, yes, you are an honest. Do they see you as an honest person thus far? If counsel needs to object, she can object.
Yes.
You know, she's getting all excited. Go ahead, object.
Yes, I'm sorry to interrupt again.
Mr. Canavas,
Your-
turn your mic off, please. Mr. Canavas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt again, Your Honor, but this line of questioning is entering into a territory which, in my view, is covered by the trial chamber's decision of yesterday. So I would respectfully request that we go into private session. I don't know what the witness will answer and how things will unfold, but out of an abundance of caution, I would request that we go into private session for this line of questioning.
May I be heard? May I be heard?
Please, Mr. Canavas.
Just because the individual lied and was dishonest, as we will see, doesn't mean that he's going to be charged. He hasn't been charged thus far. What I'm trying to establish is, because now his character for honesty is at issue. So I think it's perfectly fair. It is perfectly fair to go through all of the admonitions put to him and why they thought he had been less than truthful, in fact, why he had lied to them. Now, relax for a second. Now, if we want to go into private session, I have no problem in doing this entire trial in private session. But if the prosecution is going to bring this individual here, and this person is going to be giving speeches about how he was threatened and how this and how that, and I'm not able to let the public also know that this person is a first-class confabulator, then I think it's not a fair and open public trial. But I'm willing to go private if that's what, it'll save us some time. And it'll save counsel from having to jump up and down, and I can see her finger being itchy every so often, making me nervous.
Your Honor, if I may, on this point, the prosecution would support the request of Rule 74 counsel. The issue is not the honesty of the witness, but the issue is that the subject matter being discussed and what's being put to the witness in this interview by the interviewers is his alleged involvement in witness tampering. Answers to that, and I don't know what answer he will give, but answers to that question may indeed invoke issues related to Rule 74. So for this part of the questioning, I would request to go into private session, Your Honor.
Yes. Well, Mr. Canavas has not really touched on that. I cannot tell what the witness's answer would be to Mr. Canavas's questions or concerns. If the subjects of the witness in his answer were to touch on him interfering with other witnesses, then I agree we'll have to go into private session. As I say, I do not know what his answer would be or what he wants to say. But if you were really to say that to state his role interfering with other witnesses, thus incriminating him, then I'm afraid we'll have to go into private session.
Madam President, relax for a second. Madam President, I will endeavor to tiptoe around the issue of that and get all the other admonitions that are being given to the gentleman. Therefore, counsel here need not worry that anything untoward will come out, during the presentation that the prosecutor may latch onto and prosecute him as a result. So if I may proceed.
Well, he's given the assurances. Nobody was saying that he'll be prosecuted. For what?
I don't know. That's it. So,
Mr. Canavas, just a moment. I see the witness raising his hand. Do you want to say anything, Mr. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor. I have two things to say, Your Honor. One is that the counsel keep referring me as a liar. Even though it is his lying of asking questions. I will request that the council respect my integrity, because if I was a liar, all the information that I brought to this court will not be here. But the information I brought to this court is of substance. That's why we are discussing about it today. Number two, my honor, is that it's my request that when I'm being asked questions of this manner, of this subject where it involves, where I will mention others, that we take the subject to the private session as put forward by the lawyers in this court. Thank you.
All right, in respect of your first concern, Mr. Witness, counsel calling you a liar, I would really ask that, you calm down. Remember, during your testimony yesterday, you gave certain instances, and including even this morning, where you said, I said this, but then I meant this. So you lied? That was a question by the prosecutor. And to some, you answered yes and gave your reasons. I'm sure counsel does not mean to, demean you in any way or to, cast aspersions on your integrity. So just calm down and answer the questions. If you calm down and just answer his questions, then things would be smooth. As to, I don't know, as I say, whether or not you'd be, mentioning names in respect of his assumption that you interfered also with other witnesses. And that if that is your position, then, as I said, Mr. Canavas, I think we should go into private session. Okay, so that the witness is, in fact, very, very, very comfortable. Thank you. Madam Court Officer, can we go into private session, please?